I just want to make a very quick point about Benson Boone, because I feel like I'm late to the party. I did hear, what's his album? Fireworks and Rollerblades, I heard. I think I listened to it about a month ago. Yeah, and sometime in like the first week of April, I think, because today is the 17th of May, 2025. Yeah, so like the first week of April. First week of April, I heard Fireworks and Rollerblades, and I believe. Oh, and I have my list of songs from the album that I liked, and I believe I only liked, is it called Slow Down, Slow It Down? And then, what's that other song? I'm not well educated on Benson's discography. I almost said choreography, Lord forgive me. I'm going to hell. Um, yeah, but I liked Slow It Down. I mean, whatever the song's called. I did like that song. Isn't that the music video where he's at the piano singing? It was something about Georgia. I was like, okay, he's from the South. Like, okay, now that's why he comes across as the as the good pick me. I was like, okay, Benton is he seems humble. He's from a working class background. Okay, I can get into it. But then I heard the album and I was like, I mean, it's not. First of all, the album is not really my style. Although I did like it's coming back to me now. See, give it 5 minutes, it'll come back to you. See, because I am about to be 29 in August, so the brain is not quite functioning the way she used to at 15. Okay. Anyway, might be the spinal bifida, might be might be the arthritis. I'm just saying, or I am about 85, turning 29. So yeah, so I did. Let me see. Regarding the album, I did like the intro. I think was it called intro? The first song was like an interlude slash intro kind of thing. I liked the intro, and I liked slow it down. Is it slow it down or slow down? Slow it down, slow it down. I can't remember the title. I just liked the song, but I can't remember the title. Oh my god. Oh my god. Before y'all start hating on me, I am someone who listens to Taylor Holder and Patsy Cline. That's the only two country artists I ever listened to in my life. It's Patsy Cline and Taylor Holder. Okay, so that is the benchmark I have of country music because country is not really my thing. It's not my demographic personally. You have these country artists who all they sing about is my dead dog, and then my girl left me last night. I'ma go out to the bar, start drinking in Louisville. I'm like, okay, I've heard enough country music. First of all, the last country group I really liked was Lady A. Before people come for me about Donald hates the South, da 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 da. I did like Lady A. Okay, I did like Lady A. Lady A was a good group. Need You Now is still a timeless bop. However, it shows us that Lady A did not have the longevity to continue being a mainstream act, especially after that racism scandal with, they had to change their name for obvious reasons. So anyway, back to Mrs. Moon. I liked Benson. Well, I like Benson as a person. Also, that's probably what I'm trying to say. I like Benson more as a person because at least, because I think, I'm trying to remember if I've seen his interview. I might have seen one or two interviews, but I did like him. I do like him. He comes across as like very humble, very sure of himself. Also, I love his voice, but I think the problem I had with the album is the production. It's like Benson already has a good voice. Why are we trying to make him seem like a Freddie Mercury? First of all, people don't realize that when you have that massive range, first of all, when you talk about like artists with that Benson Boone, Freddie Mercury type of range, I think of three people: Benson Boone. No, four people: Benson Boone, Laura Branigan. By the way, my '80s heads, y'all. Laura Branigan, we heard it. Laura Branigan is still that girl. Even my mom said Jessie J is the Laura Branigan of the 2010s, and I agree. I agree. And Self Control is still my favorite Laura Branigan song. That and Solitaire. Think of I forget what album that's on. See, I'm a stickler for albums and stuff. And didn't I? Don't get me the line. Didn't I get the self? I mean the Self Control. Like, didn't they do like a 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary edition of that album recently? Or was that 2014? Because listen, either I bought it or I was gonna get around to buying it, never bought it. Anyway, that's we're gonna discuss that in the video. Anyway, but like I said, there's four people with that kind of Benson Boone voice range, that vocal range that I think of. Um, Laura Branigan, Benson Boone, Christina Aguilera, believe it or not, and Freddie Mercury. Okay. Because there comes a point in time where when you have that cataclysmic, like polarizing vocal ability, people don't realize that type of vocal range as you get old. Because as you get older, your vocal timbre and voice and your ability to sing at such a high octave, it drops. It gradually depletes as you age, as you get older. People don't realize that. People who are not musicians do not realize that. It's like trying to talk to a bunch of teachers when you're a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to teach a teacher about the legal system, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't get it," but at the same time, the teacher is making judgments about a lawyer and about the judicial system and about the profession as a whole. It's like we need to think of something smarter because you need to read the room. You can't be a teacher who is trying to educate lawyers. To play devil's advocate, to play the other end of the stick. You know, it's just like you got to read the room. And that's my thing with these girls trying to compare Benson Boone to Freddie Mercury. I can see that that's a compliment, but at the same time, you got to remember Freddie Mercury also died young too. Freddie Mercury was around like 30, 40 years old. However, if Freddie Mercury had lived, his vocal ability would have gotten significantly lower by now. So all these girls in the streets in the comments of YouTube who are judging singers' vocal ability because they're older, I'm like, y'all don't realize you cannot sing at 20 and 30 years old the way you might think you can sing at 50 and 60 years old. It's just not, it's just part of human nature. People's voices age. And if you get a nose job and you're a singer, it affects the way you sing as well. Okay? It's just like people don't know these things. And because when people are not educated, they go on the YouTube comment section and social media comment section. Like it's like I told y'all, they're called the social media police department, and they start making judgments. Oh, she can't sing. Oh, she can't sing. She's just jealous of this one. She's blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right. I mean, people judge Shawn Mendes, and Shawn Mendes has been singing since he was 15 years old. Do y'all realize Shawn Mendes is one of the greatest voices I ever heard in this generation? Really, between him and Zayn Malik, it's over with. It's done. It's over. Zayn Malik sleeps on these modern day singers. Shawn Mendes sleeps on these modern day singers. Are you kidding? What? Conan Gray too. He's another one. Conan Gray sleeps over these modern day singers. Like there's no conversation. And Benson Boone to me is kind of like I feel like he might be singing outside of his vocal ability, but then again, I don't know his discography real well, so I would have to see if like it's like is this his actual vocal range or is he just doing this because he knows people only listen to him, excuse me. People because he knows people only listen to him to hear those kind of Freddie Mercury, Mariah Carey type whistle runs and notes and things, you know. Like, I really would have to get more educated on Benson Boone's vocal stylings because I don't know his discography like that. However, I do have my list of my favorite songs from Fireworks and Rollerblades, but it's been a whole month and a half since I heard the album, and I have to go back and find my list and then go through this song, go through that song, like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I have heard all of Shawn Mendes' albums because I have. I have a Wonder Zine too, by the way, in case y'all didn't know that. Um, yeah. So, and by the way, I was supposed to see Shawn Mendes like two albums in a row at the Barclays Center in New York, and when a certain person came around to talk about, oh, we're gonna see Sean like 4 years in a row. That's when he took like 4 year break after that first album I was supposed to see at Barclays. I think it wasn't Wonder. I think it was it? Oh yeah, the Shawn Mendes album. Between the Shawn Mendes self-titled album and then Wonder, I was supposed to see Sean in concert in Brooklyn for both of those album tours for those rollouts, right? Tell me why I never got to see him. This reminds me of that time when Lauren Hill tried to scam my mom, but we're not gonna mention that. Because I unlike these hoteps in the community, I am a descendant of Cleopatra. Bet you didn't know that. So when we speak on Donald Simmons' name, let's remember where Donald's power comes from. Actual royalty. Because I first of all, I have been in rooms with wolves. I have had business meetings with wolves. I have had, see, and young people today call them narcissists. I call them wolves. Which, I have had to skin the cat and saute the onion of many a wolf in my day, many a wolf in my day. But people just don't know that because I don't go around talking about that. You have people today who clearly need an etiquette lesson, clearly need to be educated, clearly sound like, you just hopped off of somebody's modeling rack. Like you just got objectified and exploited off of somebody's modeling rack last night. And today you're fresh in New Jersey, looking like you just came from Paris 2 hours ago. And you're supposed to tell me what to do with my life. But you've got 25,000 in your bank account. While there's single moms who are struggling to pay rent, there's people in Ireland who are trying to get abortions, and you have all these anti-abortion protesters in Northern Ireland in 2025. Oh, and by the way, I'm part Irish, so do not come for me in the comments. Oh, and there are Black Irish people too. That's the part that y'all don't acknowledge. hmm Let's mention that. Anyways, the World War II brown babies. Conversation, yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, yeah. hmm So let's not forget who keeps their eyes nearest the streets. Okay, not only in America, I keep my eyes nearest the streets of Ireland, Scotland, and England because when a certain person who's deceased now told me, Donald, that's your problem. You think the English are better than Americans. I'm like, what I wanted to say is they are asshole. It's the truth. I mean, listen, America is the only country where you pay any dollar amount for healthcare, whether it's $1 or 7.5 million for healthcare. Bitch. There should be no reason why we are the only country that charges people for healthcare. And sure, Brits don't like the NHS, but at least they don't have to pay a single dollar for healthcare. They take that for granted in Europe. Like, I see why a lot of Americans move overseas. It's because of this goddamn healthcare that is driving us into poverty and social security and welfare checks, girl. I cannot handle it. But people stay telling me Americans need to be grateful. You mean to tell me that if I say that Europe is better than America. I'm going to get chastised on the internet for saying that. We live in a crazy world. And that's the thing. America's getting what's coming to it. Okay? America's getting what's coming to her too. First of all, Donald Trump can get canceled and Diddy can get canceled. Both of them got canceled in 2024, 2025. Like, told this story when I saw Donald Trump's legal his lawsuit in 2017, and the very next day after I saw that lawsuit with those five women's names and two men's names that he raped, let's keep it real. Um, the very next day after I saw that file, I wrote a poem and mentioned Donald Trump being a rapist on video somewhere on my phone too. Because I told my mom, I used to perform poetry at the open mic, and I went and told my mother, I said, take my phone. I want you to record me doing this set, right? And then tell me what you think, what everyone thinks about it. Do you know when I stepped off that stage, guess what people said? My mom told me. She said, when you mentioned Donald Trump being a rapist, she said some people, she said the crowd was split, right? She said some people rolled their eyes at you, and she said some people got up and walked out. This was in 2017. The world did not know Tree Stump was a rapist. They didn't know that. They didn't know that. I said that shit 3 years before it went public. Do you think that I have made $1 from that? No. Why? Because black people are still treated like slaves. Black people, and not just in the United States, black people all over the world are still being treated like slaves today. And I'm not just talking about trafficking. I'm not just talking about the prison industrial complex move. I'm talking about black people are being treated like slaves even without all that. Even nice, normal, ordinary black people are still being treated like slaves. If people cannot exploit you with your money, they'll exploit you with your time. If they cannot exploit you with your money and your time, they'll exploit you with your soul. Like, I need people to understand. I learned all this shit as a kid, like, cause it happened to me. If it can, first, it's like Wendy Williams said in her documentary, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. So what make you think? So what makes you think that I'm just a Joe Schmo off the side of the road? Like, because that's how low key, that's how people treat me. When fraudulent, fake people approach me and they tell me things like, I wouldn't let people like you use my internet. Told me that in New York when I lived in New York. In fact, I was black in Staten Island, New York. You want to talk about courage? Try living in Staten Island and being black. Or any minority in Staten Island. Try living that. Try living that life, boo. Yeah, I was there. Y'all never knew about it. Y'all never got a story time because, first of all, I interviewed my mom about it because it's a 7 hour video. However, and you know what? I've been trying to find that video for 5 years and I have not been able to find it. But here's the whole thing. When I got my new phone in like 2021, I had forgotten to change my old number. Then I had to call Boost Mobile. Girl, really, I need to get that damn number back and see if it's available. That I figured it out. I'm gonna get that number back. That's it. Anyway, it gave me a new idea, but that's gonna be a future project. Anyway, so it's just like, we talked about a lot of things, girl. We went from Benson, Boone to Staten Island, New York, girl. That's the thing. Let's see Benson Boone perform them same songs in Staten Island. Let's see what the girls say. Well, but then he's white, so maybe they might respect him because if I was in Staten Island, it'll be a whole different story. Let's just put it like that. Because when I was in New York, okay, when I was in Staten Island, I specifically remember a woman coming up to me talking about some. I'm asking her if I can use her internet for reasons that y'all not know off camera. But I had to ask this lady, and she was white, by the way. She was white, and I don't know, but I had just met her. Um, I was walking on the street and she was walking, cause see, she was walking, thinking that, yeah, she was walking ahead of me. We were walking in the same direction on the sidewalk. And I had, came up to her and I tapped her on the shoulder and said, hi. Because what I wanted to say was, hi, can I use your internet? Here she go. All I said was hi, right? Here she go. Excuse me. All I said was hi, right? Here she go. Beat it before I fuck you up. So you want to talk? You want to tell me about courage? This was in 2020 during COVID, by the way. I'm in Staten Island, New York, and first of all, you think rich kids got it easy, and they start complaining about, oh, we have it hard with 5 million in their bank account. Try living in Staten Island, New York, as a minority. Try that, okay, and see if you make it alive. See if you overcome some things, because people who have to try to judge me to fill in this narrative. First of all, I was born in Neptune, New Jersey. I was born in the hood. Okay, let's not get it twisted. I was born in the hood. My parents had their problems, but my mom made it. My mom overcame. Like, of course, I'm independent. My mom was independent. Like, and my dad was smarter in other things, but money was his biggest downfall. My dad was much more intelligent in other areas, though, and that's where I get it from because my dad was the genius of the family, and it's just, I could kind of see where people don't know how to reconcile the two concepts with me because it's like I'm so polarizing. Like, I have my mom's face and I have my dad's personality. So it's like they start having mental breakdowns and they look at me like, oh my God. Like, it's just my mom's side of the family is like, oh, you look just like your mother. My dad's side of the family is like, oh my God, you look so Bermudian. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So these girls start having mental breakdowns. They start being like contortionists, like Sophie Dossie. By the way, shout out to Sophie Dossie. I love her. Sophie Dossie be doing backflips, all type of contortions. Y'all could never. Sweetie went on America's Got Talent and was showing up and showing out. Okay, so I want people to be nicer to people with actual talent because contortionists, magicians, and those are people with actual talent. They work hard just like everyone else. Okay, you know. And Sophie made her YouTube career. She was on YouTube. She's still on YouTube. You know, so I'm just really proud of her. And she's just wow. She's just so talented. Once again, she has a talent. What I cannot stand is these young kids now who have no business being on YouTube at 9 years old. Now it's their parents who make them make YouTube accounts now. Even the kids no more. See, in my day, it was us kids were sneaking around making YouTube channels and going on Grand Theft Auto, playing Grand Theft Auto without our parents knowing. Sneaking around at night at 12 o'clock at night to watch late night talk shows, girl. Now the parents are doing all that for us. Well, not me. I'm 30 years old. Now the parents are doing all that for their children in today's generation. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Grand Theft Auto, I'm torn about whether to get GTA 6 because I have not played since GTA 5 in 2013. I haven't played a console game since 2013. But actually, no, I take that back. Because after GTA 5 came out and I got bored and tired of the online mode, then I started playing Sims 4. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Sims 5 out? Because listen, when they decided not to promote Sims 4 for the PC, I mean for console games, when they decided not to promote Sims 4 for PlayStation, I was like, no. Nope, not playing this anymore. Anymore. First of all, I blinked my eyes and it said 9 minutes. I blinking my eyes again and it says 25 minutes. I said this was gonna be a quick video. Look, see y'all, when I start in my story, when I get my storytelling mode, my brain just, it's like the Energizer Bunny just going and going and going and going. Like, I'm like a hamster wheel. My brain's like a hamster wheel. My memory is a hamster wheel. Like, my cognitive thinking is a hamster wheel. She just keeps going and going. Like I'm like Sophie Dossie with the contortion flips, going and going and going and going. But anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. We gotta just stop right here because I feel like this is a good place to stop for now. So I did just make a video, but I forget the title of the video. It's very interesting. It's the one where I talked about tree stump and, if I was president, all New Yorkers would be subject to psych evaluations. That one. So get to watch it because that's part one and this is part two. Anyway, so I love y'all down. I will see y'all later, hopefully in about a month or two or three. Because I only post on YouTube now like every 6 months because I have things going on behind the scenes now. So when you see me, you'll see me. As Martin Lawrence used to say, you could leave, but you can't stay here. Bye.